So, for example, Asian cultures, they have more this collaborative thing. Yeah? We do it together, we get the compliments together, we do it as a team. I think it was a captain or a chief officer, he said to me, "Yes, you, give me salt now." I was like, dude, what did I do wrong? It's very hard for seafarers to connect to office. And if you have a fleet trainer, I've been a seafarer for 10 years myself, so I really understand all their issues, all their concerns directly.
Welcome to another podcast episode. And today we are joined by Steyn Bartels. Steyn is a fleet trainer who works at Veder. In this episode, we'll find out more about his role in the maritime industry. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Maritime Vision podcast. And today in this episode, we are joined by Steyn Bartels. I hope I pronounced in a good way your name.
It's perfect.
Thank you. So it's a pleasure to having you in this podcast episode. So you are fleet trainer at Veder. So you will explain about this role. So of course, can you introduce yourself, please, Anthony?
Yeah, of course. So I'm Steyn Bartels. I studied maritime officer on the island of the Schelling. And I did 2 internships in this company, in Veder. It's a gas tanker company. And I really liked the internships. So after my graduation, I directly started as a third mate on the ships. I grew up to second officer and then to chief officer. And after a few years as chief officer, I was really looking to do more for people. And then I spoke with some people inside the company, and they created this new role for me, which is called fleet trainer. And now I'm fleet trainer already for 4 years, so more focused on people, yeah.
Nice. First of all, what did you start in the maritime industry? Did you have interest about maritime first?
That's a good question. Actually, not. So after my pre-university, I wanted to be a doctor, but we have a kind of lottery system in the Netherlands. I wasn't selected. And then I chose to do a maritime school. And after 1 year, I was sold. I really liked it, so that's why I continued doing that study. Yeah.
Perfect. Nice. So then you decided to sail at sea.
Yeah, correct.
And now you are a fleet trainer. Did you have an intermediate period between your time at sea and ashore?
No, I actually, this role was not a defined role in the company. So I actually kind of built up this role myself. So there was no training period. I just defined my role for myself actually.
Okay. So can you explain about this role?
Yeah. Actually most people in my company also don't really exactly know what my role is, but it's more focused on people and team building and having the right people on the right places. So I also did a lot of interviews before in the recruitment process, and we use a personal assessment tool. So we can define personalities of people, and we use that a lot right now. So we do coaching conversations with people on the ships. And I also still board vessels, so I join them for about a week, and then I do one-on-one readback sessions with them regarding their personality and their strengths. And at the end of the week, I also do a team building session with them on board to see how other people work and how we can put people in their strengths.
Okay, quite interesting. So what is the process to create this role? Why did you create this role actually?
Kind of, and also with my department, I guess. So I think there's, as I was a sailor myself, it's quite a hard time to be a long time away from home. You have to work with a certain amount of people. Maybe you don't like them, maybe you don't understand them. That can be very difficult. So I think there's a huge need of understanding and cultural differences and everything there. So I think this role was developed by itself, by the need, which is coming from the seafarers himself. Yeah.
Okay, because Veder, you have like a fleet of vessels. So of course, you have crew members.
Yeah.
I think we are going to talk more about the training programs. But do you see every time the crew when they go ashore?
Yeah, so that's difficult. So we have an office. We have multiple offices actually in the world, and it's very hard to connect with your seafarers. But I think in our company we really spend a lot of time, effort to connect with the company and with the seafarers. So our company personnel, they go on board. Time to time, we invite a lot of people from the fleet back to the office to get this connection keep on going. We also do a lot of, we have rating days in Indonesia for our Indonesian ratings. We went to the Philippines in December also for the connection. And in 2 weeks, we will have all the junior officers coming to the Netherlands.
Okay.
And then we also have giving workshops about psychological safety, healthy lifestyle, all these kind of things. So we're really doing a lot of effort there.
Okay, nice. So I imagine the nationalities about it's like every countries, or do you have like specific nationalities? I think Filipino we have a lot.
Yeah, no, we have specific. We work mostly with Indonesians. We also do now have our Filipino pool is getting bigger.
Okay.
We have Eastern Europe, so we have Russians, Ukrainians, Latvians. We still have some Dutch because we're a Dutch company.
Yeah.
And some lost countries in between.
That's quite big actually. Yeah, but so I imagine because to train those people, you need to understand their culture.
Yeah.
How did you manage to yourself to get this skill?
Yeah, that's also a good question. So first of all, I think it's from experience. I sailed for about 10 years on the ships. So if you first time work with Indonesians, you start thinking, why is this different? And then you learn about their culture. And also, I think in our company, we have a real company culture. So Indonesians are not really Indonesian anymore. They're also more Veder culture, let's say. And we do a lot for cultural differences. We give leadership trainings with cultural differences, and we approach
Okay, so it's I think the big part is thanks to your experience at sea.
Yeah,
because you cannot have this role if you don't have experience at sea. I imagine. So, yeah. Let's talk about training programs.
Yeah.
So can you discuss a little bit about the trainings you provide to the seafarers?
Yeah. So I think the biggest training I'm doing myself is the onboard training. So this is really digging into personalities. So sometimes most of the people understand themselves, and sometimes the cooperation is very difficult with someone else on board. And then the question is, why is that? And it's very good then to learn what drives another person. So we're giving a big, it's a lot of content we give to the seafarers on board, to the officers and engineers. And later on, we're going to put that into a diagram where you can see how everybody works. So you will find out that everybody works totally different than yourself. And if you understand what drives people, it's more easy to work with them.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I was apprentice, for me, it's always nice to say, okay, just try it out. And if it fails, it fails. You will learn from that. That's my best way. So when I got new apprentices or new officers, I always teach them the same way, like I want to be taught.
Okay. Yeah.
But I found out that a lot of people want to be taught completely different. And if you understand that, if you understand the people you have around you, you can be a better, can cooperate better.
Interesting. So you are talking now some about the team building as well.
Yeah.
So can you maybe elaborate about the skill team building, because I think on board the ship is very important.
Yeah.
And what are the common issues we have about it?
Yeah. So like you mentioned already, cultural differences is a big issue. Yeah. So every person is different, but also we have the cultural differences are really big. So, for example, Asian cultures, they have more this collaborative thing. Yeah? We do it together. We get the compliments together. We do it as a team. And then Dutch, for example, or Eastern Europe are more individualistic. So we want to perform ourselves. We don't need 5 people for example, to clean a small room. You can do that by yourself.
Yeah.
And Asian cultures, they always like to work together, so they can take the blame together, or they can perform better together. And they also like to talk in between the job, and they work just much more efficient if they are together.
Okay.
And that's something, you have to learn. In the beginning, you're like, why do you need 3 people to clean this room?
Yeah.
If you look from their point of view, it's logic to do it with 3 people.
That's true. Yeah, for the case, I mean the Eastern European culture is quite different from Indonesians. Yeah. And because how can you because I imagine like team building when you're doing this workshop, is it like with different people from different nationalities, or it's like you take one group on?
No. So we have all the engineers and officers. So the ranks who are really leading the ratings also. We take them together and then do first a one-on-one session with them all. So we talk about their personality, their strengths, their weaknesses, everything. And then later on, we put all the people together, and then we are going to learn. First, we're going to estimate where do we think the partner is. So you think the captain, in which quadrant will he be? That's already difficult because you really have to understand him, how he approaches things. And that's already quite difficult. So that's nice for them to learn. And then later on, I'm going to explain why people have the drives, what people like to see from other people. Maybe they're not angry, they're just very direct and they want to get the work as done as possible. And that's very nice for other people to see who is always angry at me, to understand that he's not angry, he just wants to work fast and efficient, right? So that's a big eye-opener. And I also see, I think the nicest thing about my job there is that I see the next day everybody likes to work again with each other and they're looking forward because they're going to be a good team again. So that's really nice.
That's good, yeah. So you mean that before the training they are quite so in their, we can say, in their space, in their culture thing, and after the training they try to be more conscious about to adapt to each other, and then of course it creates this good harmony, we can say.
Correct.
It's nice. Well, I mean, I did. Your role is quite new in the industry.
Yeah, correct.
And do you know some people who have the same role as you, by the way?
No, not really. Actually.
Okay.
No.
Okay, that's nice. So it's the first podcast about fleet.
Okay. That's your
fleet trainer. So now, we talk about team building. Yes, I want you to talk more about the activities you implement to make. You told us a little bit about it, but more specifically, what kind of, if it's games, if it's like I don't know what kind of activities or.
Yeah, so I think in our company we have more things. So in 2 weeks we have a officer conference. So the junior officers will come to us, and there will be 5 workshops held. Also one by me, together with someone from Indonesia, and I will do the healthy lifestyle. So we also do about sport, smoking, also psychological safety. How do you feel safe? How do you dare to speak up? So I can imagine if you are the lowest rank and you have to talk to captain for, in some companies it's quite difficult or maybe not even possible. And I think in our company we really have a different safety culture and behavior than in most companies. So in our company, I also sometimes see on board that just a rating just talks to the captain. Captain, is this really what we want to do, or is this a good idea? And that I'm really proud of that. But that behavior, is really in our company, I think.
Okay, nice, interesting. So that's the first aspect. So we talk about team building. Then we have like health, on the personal health, on the wellness. Can you elaborate on it? So you provide as well training about it. What is the challenge you have as a seafarer?
Yeah, that's so the challenge as a seafarer is you have a lot of working hours. And also we don't have the best gyms. In some vessels we made a gym, but it's not really like a gym. You can have all the equipment ready. It's more like one bicycle and. But it's really good to motivate people to keep doing. You can also, like in your cabin, you can do push-ups, squats, everything. But I think in general people are quite tired after work. So every time you can sleep, you will go to sleep. That's I think the biggest issue for trying to keep up with sports on board. And also, like if you're in North Sea now, you're rolling and rolling and rolling, so you cannot even run on a treadmill or do some weights. So that's difficult.
Okay, well, so I imagine so the working hours is complicated, and as well I think not seeing his family. It can be quite challenging.
So we have the officers and engineers on board. They are 10 weeks on, 10 weeks off, so they're 2.5 months straight on board and 2.5 months on. And ratings on board, they even do sometimes 9 months straight in a row. So
Okay.
We have internet on board, so we can still call and keep in contact with family and stuff at home. But it can be hard too, especially if something happens at home.
Okay.
But I think our seafarers are quite resilient. They really go up with it, and they find people to talk on board if they have problems at home, or if it's really bad, we can always send someone home. So
okay. And then the team building is
that's
very important.
Correct.
So about more health, do you have specific activities in your trainings to improve it, like just to show them like some exercises, or it's more
for health?
Yes.
We are actually now busy also with starting up something for the ships that they can maintain on board, like physical exercises, but that is not rolled out on the fleet yet. So for now, everybody can do it themselves on board. We promote it and we make them aware of it, but we don't really have this training programs for physical exercise on board yet.
Okay, interesting. And now I want to talk about something else quite important. The maritime industry, when you are a seafarer, it's very like hierarchic. In French, hierarchic means you have the officer, you have the captain, you have the cadet. So it's quite hard sometimes for people to respect this, the way it talk like that to me, but I don't like it. How can you manage all this?
Yeah, that's a good question. So when I was in the lower ranks, I also experienced that a lot. But you will find your way around. So if you have somebody who's very hierarchic or power distance, you learn to co-op, and you also learn that this person has their drives, right? But I think in our company, we don't really have that insane power distance as you, for example, you have in most cruise vessels or other ships or companies. So I think in our company, you're quite kind of free to speak to whatever rank. And we all know that if a difficult decision has to be made, or if there's an emergency, the power distance and the hierarchic places will fall back into places again.
Okay.
But I think it's also a leadership challenge. So for a lot of leaders, it's hard to be a friend with someone, and when the time is there, they also have to be a boss. But that's something you learn, experience, and we give a lot of courses for that, leadership courses and opening up courses. Yeah.
So, of course, you have leadership courses more for the people who will give some order to the other people, so officer and the captain.
Yeah.
And what about the cadets, for example? Because they don't know, they don't have any power on the ship.
That's good, yeah. So, so they come fresh from school, and they fall in this hierarchic situation, so that can be difficult for them. However, we always brief the cadets what they can expect, how power distance works, and what to do and what not to do, and what can be respected and what not. So I think we make them quite aware of what they fall into. And every time we do a recap when they come back. And most of the cadets say, it was quite easy to manage.
Okay. I imagine it's depending the culture as well, because I know that in the Netherlands, the power distance is not so high.
Correct,
in comparison with maybe Eastern Europe.
Correct.
So I think it's quite, how can you make, like, depending the culture, try to adapt on, it's not easy.
No, that's true. But before people fall into a leader rank, they all do this course with us, safety and leadership training. We give them ourselves, and there they also learn about cultural differences. And I think still in our company we have a company culture where there's not a lot of power distance. So if we have new hired captains from other companies, they also is different, and you also see that all the people on board think, "Whoa, this is someone from another company." But they always grow into our company, because in the end, I think we have a very healthy company culture, so that will be taken over much faster if it was not beneficial for themselves, right?
Okay, yeah, I imagine, yeah, for sure. And about dispute, because I imagine sometimes, during like the vessel at sea, you can have some issue between two crew members. Are you managing as well those issues, or it's just mainly fine?
So sometimes when they at least call the office, they do something about it, or later on we take again this personality assessment, and then we're going to talk with them, and then they will also see, oh, it's my personality which is just not matching with his personality. So if they learn about their personality and he learns about his personality, then at least know where it's going wrong, and then they can develop on that.
Okay, very interesting. Then we talk about it, like the challenges during the training. So as a fleet trainer, more in your side, not the seafarer side, what are the challenges you have when you need to give them some advices, give them some...
Yeah. So I think for my role, I also do sometimes navigational assessments on board. So I'm going to check if they do the proper navigation, let's say. So every time I want to board a vessel, I have good intentions about helping and making the team better, and giving tips and tricks. And every time I send an email to the ship, they always like, "Ooh, there's another assessor or auditor. I don't have time. I don't want this." In the beginning, they always have difficulties, but if they see me after one day on board, they know I'm there to make the team better, and I'm for their benefit and not for their...
Yeah, that's
That is a challenge. But,
imagine.
I always overwin that challenge in 2 days when I'm on board. So it's okay, but every time I'm having the same troubles if they don't know me yet.
Yeah, it's like your teacher who asks you need to go in class today. You don't want, but at least it's very useful. So.
Yeah, correct, yeah.
So we talk about cultural differences. Oh yes, this question is quite interesting about, can you share some anecdotes or memorable experience you had during your job as a
seafarer or fleet trainer?
Let's try first with the seafarer, then as a fleet trainer, if you remember.
And what kind of moment you mean?
Memorable, like something crazy or something funny.
Well, I had a lot of funny experiences in when I was sailing, but I think it was my first vessel, and I was the only Dutch person on board, so I really fell into the cultural thing where I didn't have any experience yet. And I was on board, and one of the guys, I was on the table and it was very quiet, so I was like, why is nobody talking? So I felt a bit like, okay, I don't know. And then I think it was a captain or a chief officer, he said to me, yes, you, give me salt now. I was like, dude, what did I do wrong? And later on I was assessing the situation, and then I thought, okay, well, if you're a Russian speaker and you have to learn English, it's quite difficult, right? You have your different pronunciations, you have a different alphabet, Cyrillic. So later on I was thinking, like, if I have to ask something in French with my best French, I just make some words up and I don't even know how it is received, right? So he wasn't angry with me, he really liked me, but at that moment I was like, whoa, did I do something wrong, or why are you so angry with me? But I was just completely misunderstood the whole situation.
That's true, by the way, And Eastern European people are not so smiley people,
correct,
but it doesn't mean that they don't like you, just that
they're all teddy bears.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
That's quite funny. So yeah, it's quite a funny story, by the way. But what about now during your current position as a fleet trainer? Did you have some funny stuff as well? Not it can be not funny. It can be something like you keep in your mind for, it was maybe sad. It was so wow,
Yeah, I remember, because before I was chief officer and I joined the vessel now as a fleet trainer. And I came on board, and also another electrician came just on board, new. So I just arrived, and I was sitting there, and he said to me, "Can I have my safety shoes?" So I was like, "Sorry, what do you mean?" Yeah, I said, "I want my safety shoes." I said, "Don't you have safety shoes?" Or he said, "No, yeah, I have, but I want one more." I was like, "Hey, what's going on here?" And I didn't get it. And in the end, he thought I was still chief officer. And normally, chief officer is handing out all the safety PPE, protective equipment. So it was, I don't know, it was kind of weird that because I was there to give training, but he thought I'd give shoes. And I was like, hey, why should I give shoes? Was it the idea that I give shoes? Or I didn't get it at all. It was, I don't know, it was kind of funny.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, every day you should have some, I think, quite... something we make the note of the day. No. Let's talk a little bit about to come back to your seafarer career, because I have a lot of seafarers who listen to this podcast. Yep. Can you explain your first experience at sea, your first day, how it was?
My first day at sea, well, yeah, it's so strange. You just come from a, let's say, normal world, and then you live in a ship where everything is different. That is, I remember it was quite... not hard, but it was, I really have to adapt. And I took a lot of time to adapt there. And if you find your place, can be even after 1 month only, then it's okay. Then you know what to do and you start enjoying and learn more. But in the beginning, if you don't feel comfortable in the situation, it's very hard to learn also. Yeah. But they expect you to learn. And also, I thought, okay, I'm coming here for 5 months, because my first internship was 5 months. And then nobody had time for me. I was like, hello, I'm here for 5 months. But it's so busy in port. So everybody was busy with their own stuff. In the end, I get it. But I was like, hello, I'm going to live here for 5 months. Why is nobody saying hi? Yeah. But that's all things you have to learn. And also my first contract was on the North Sea. Mm-hmm. And every day we were rolling. Oh. And it was terrible weather for 5 months in a row. So barely sleeping. We even hit the 48 degrees. So that means you can better walk on the wall than on the floor. Wow. Yeah, it was terrible. So not a lot of sleep. And so the weather was really terrible. But if you look outside on the ocean, that's... it's cool actually.
It's cool, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have good nostalgia about this moment, I imagine, at sea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a sailor, but not on big ships. I mean, sailing boats.
Oh yeah, but it's also nice.
It's
right?
also
Same experience.
sailing at sea. But yeah, of course, sailing is a very nice, but it's very intensive.
Yeah.
And when you come back, you are completely reconnecting with the world.
The normal world, yeah, correct, yeah.
Yeah, and do you want like to give some advices for now for first for seafarer, young seafarer?
Yeah, I think the best thing is just to don't directly try to prove yourself. First, adapt to everybody in the situation. Because I see cadets who try to like be a smart ass or something that's not really appreciated in general. So first, just see what you have around you, see how people work. And then in the end, everybody will like you. And also if you're motivated, it doesn't matter how many mistakes you make, people will always like you if you just motivated. That's always.
And I think asking questions is good.
Asking questions always good. Yeah.
I mean, I think you first day you should like, ask so many questions when you don't know the ships or
correct.
So let's talk to come back about your current position, but let's talk more about the macro environment. I mean, do you think every company, every ship owner companies should have a fleet trainer in their team?
I think yes. So not only for the job I'm doing right now, but also I see in most companies it's very hard for seafarers to connect to office. And if you have a fleet trainer, I've been a seafarer for 10 years myself, so I really understand all their issues, all the concerns directly. So you don't have a big gap between office and fleet.
Yeah.
That's I think my biggest benefit in my role. And also I help with a lot of projects in our company because I have the experience from the seafarers. So sometimes they have a very good idea in the office, but then from seafarers' point of view, they miss something. And that's very nice. You can just call them and just say, hey, we have another project, you want to help out? And then it's more likely to have a yes than if they don't know you.
Yeah.
So I think that's very beneficial, just to close the gap between fleet and office. Yeah.
Okay, nice. Yeah. Because you are you train them, but can you be the intermediate person between the world ashore and the world at sea, or not really?
No, I think yes. Yeah. I think like my role is not defined like that, but I think in general that's the biggest thing I do. Yeah, connecting fleet with the office.
Yeah, because we always say it's the superintendent or the crew manager doing this kind of stuff. By the way.
Yeah.
But I think are you working closely with other people in the team, like a crew manager, etc.
Yeah. So all my crewing managers are my direct colleagues.
Okay.
So also, if I have work concerns from board, or if I join a vessel for a week and there's things going on, I can directly like shift fast with my crewing managers. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Do you want to add something about maybe what do you think about the future of your position? Do you think it will evolve, like you will see many fleet trainer, or you think it will be still hard to create this role in the global fleet?
That's I don't really know what other companies want with their company, but I think this will be a necessary role or a future role which is coming up more and more, I think. Yeah. Okay. Because if you have a happy seafarer, they do their job happily, so they work more faster, they work more efficient. So in the end, it all pays back. And I think if you can address concerns on board the ships in the office well, that you can really improve there. Okay. So I think I think it will be. People will start. Maybe they will not call it fleet trainer, but there will be more roles like this. I think in the future.
Yeah. I'm quite happy to know now this role. This is the end of the podcast. But do you want to add something? Maybe we talk about many things, but if you want to add something, you have something in mind.
I just hope that the new generation is really still coming to sea, because it's a lovely place. Yeah. And I also see that our new cadets and new generation having more difficulties with it, because the phone and the constant hype for social media is very, very difficult not to be there. But I really think, from my experience, you grow so much more yourself and get to know yourself, be a person with responsibilities if you go, for example, to sea and leave your phone away, or not being constantly on your phone. I remember first time when I came back from my ship, I come to the bar, I see the same people at the same spots in the same bar. And I was like, I've been through emergencies, I've seen the world, I grew so much. And for me, I find it already more difficult to connect with them because their world remains very, very small. So I really want to say, like, go out there and explore and see what's there, right?
Because you have a big shortage, by the way.
Correct.
So we can encourage people to make career at sea. It will be good as well.
Yeah.
Thank you, Steyn, for this episode. It was a pleasure.
You too.
And I wish you all the best for 2024.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening and watching this episode. We are looking forward to bring you more insights from maritime professionals, experts, and students. Do not hesitate to follow the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Your support means a lot to us and helps us to bring you more content.